A German lieutenant picked up a stick and drew a line on the ground, dividing the cabin into two parts. The side near the stove belonged to Germany. The other side belonged to Britain. No one was allowed to cross the line. This was a true event that happened during World War II. Just a few hours earlier, the two sides had fought a small battle. Each side had shot down one enemy plane. 3 German pilots survived. They carried supplies and began walking toward their base, but soon they were caught in a snowstorm. They struggled through the deep snow. Suddenly, one soldier was pulled off a cliff by the heavy supplies. At the last second, he grabbed a rocky ledge and barely saved his life, but all the supplies fell. Just when they were losing hope, they saw a small wooden cabin not far away. They carefully walked inside. The cabin was simple, but it gave them hope. There was a stove and a bag of oats. But while they were warming up, voices came from outside. 2 British soldiers were approaching. When they saw the uniforms, the German lieutenant immediately realized these were their enemies from just hours ago. Everyone reached for their pistols. No one dared to move, but staying outside in the cold meant certain death, so they agreed to talk inside the cabin. At first, both sides shook hands and greeted each other, but soon, they argued over the beds. The British officer said he had the highest rank, so he should sleep closest to the stove. The German lieutenant said his men had found the cabin first, so they had control. After arguing, the Germans chose to treat the British as prisoners. The British then mentioned the Geneva Convention and asked for 3 meals a day. The German lieutenant agreed. He said everyone would eat the same food. Then he drew a dividing line on the floor and called it a prison boundary. From that point on, the enemies lived under the same roof. The British did chores, and the Germans supervised. At mealtime, the lieutenant placed the British food on the floor. This made the British very upset. Even as prisoners, they said, they had the right to sit at the table. The lieutenant thought for a moment, then moved the table to the dividing line. The British sat down, ready to eat, when they saw the Germans changing clothes. They took off their coats and put on formal uniforms. The British quickly did the same. After fixing their appearance, both sides sat down to eat. They wore their best military uniforms while eating simple oat porridge. But the food was not enough for 5 people. In less than 1 day, all the oats were gone. The firewood was also almost gone. They had to break down wooden shelves for warmth and dig moss from rocks to eat. Then, while one soldier went outside to use the bathroom, a herd of deer passed by the cabin.